Okay, so in this part I'm going to show you how to make some details for the normal map and the ambient occlusion map. You can see that I have completed the normal maps and ambient occlusion maps for other details like scope, grip and laser sight, and also the magazine. You can see I've prepared in Photoshop a normal map that we are going to use, and these are just simple screws. I've made them in Maya. I've made just normal height polymesh, and I've baked a normal map to a simple plane. So we can grab this kind of normal map and paste to our weapon normal map. So you can see I'm doing it right now. I am in the main weapon normal map file, and of course we have to scale these screws and put in different places of the weapon. Of course, these kind of little details can be also made directly in Photoshop. You don't have to make a high polymesh and bake normal map. You can just make this kind of details in Photoshop using, for example, Xnormal plugin for Photoshop. And I will also show you how to do this in this part. So you can see I have a reference of this part of the weapon, and what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to open a blending modes, blending options, and we have to turn off a blue channel for this detail. It's very important to turn off this blue channel, and we set a mode to an overlay. This will make our normal map work properly. So right now we are just refreshing the texture and trying to see what result we have. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this layer, and we have something around 10 other places where we have to put this little screw detail. So I will do this just right now. So you can see we are skipping here because it's too boring to watch how I'm copying just the same layer over and over again. So you can see I've put these screws in the places where it should be, and this is how it looks right now. So right now we will move to make some details on these switches, and we will create just a simple lines, and we will use an Xnormal plugin for Photoshop to convert these black and white lines to a normal map. So you can see I'm creating just few white lines. So right now I'm going to preview these lines, and of course it's incorrect to leave it this way, but I just want to see if the position of these lines is correct, and then we will convert these lines to normal map. And you can see I'm adding a black background for these white lines, and I will merge these layers together, and I will use an Xnormal plugin with this kind of options that you can see to generate a normal map from this black and white image. So the image was pretty sharp, so I was using a blur tool to make it a little bit more smooth. And now you can see our lines looks pretty okay. Of course we have to delete these outside edges just to make everything clear. And right now we will make some details for this second switch, and I I was thinking at the beginning that the checker will be a good idea, but finally I've decided to create my own pattern. And of course for this one we have to also disable a blue channel and set it to overlay. So I think it's a little bit too intensive right now, so I will tweak it probably a little bit. And of course I will do all these different switches, and I will come back to you and show you the final results, and also these little letters. So you can see uh, how it looks right now. You can see these patterns that I've added and some letters. And you can see this pattern on the grip, and this is just a normal map created in Photoshop, of course. And it's really a good idea to extract an ambient occlusion map from this normal map, and of course add it to a ambient occlusion map, of course. So you can see I'm just duplicating this normal map that I've created for this grip, and I've put this normal map to ambient occlusion map, and now I will use just Xnormal plugin, and I'm using function called normal to cavity, and you can see I'm just converting this normal map to something like this. Of course we have to use levels to tweak this a little bit, and this will add to some kind of additional effect to the final result that we can see on the screen. Of course we have to make some adjustments and delay these ugly dark edges around this. So it's just an additional ambient occlusion map for this little pattern. So maybe it's not really visible, or right now you can see without normal map that it is really here. Of course it will be visible way better after applying specular maps. So of course we have to repeat this process for these screws. I want also add for them and ambient occlusion.